Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to talk today about my why and why I started my business. I'm sure, like you guys watching, you've wanted to start a business, or you did start a business, and you had a really good reason why you wanted to. And it wasn't just about money, but maybe there was a bigger reason behind all of it, perhaps, I don't know. I wanted to talk about mine anyway, and so that you sort of understand, I suppose, why I'm bothering. Because like so many people, I could just have a job. I really could. I just go and get a job somewhere and just be very bored with a job. That would be the. I'd rather not. I'd rather not, because you know the freedom of the business. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I know it's a lot of work, but the freedom we have when we're entrepreneurs, when we have a business of our own, we do what we want when we want. Essentially, providing we get the work done. It's a lot more flexible. And if you're like me and you've got a young child who's going to school and like after school clubs and activities, and it makes life a lot easier when we have a business, flexibility wise. So I know that's one of the reasons I set this business up a long time ago, and it wasn't always a web design business. It used to be something far worse. It used to be something I really didn't enjoy doing, but I wanted to give it a go. And it was basically a digital marketing company, which is running Facebook ads. That's basically what it was. And I'm not gonna lie, it was soul destroying. I hated it. But I was like, well, you know, it doesn't matter if I hate it or love it. You know, at the end of the day, it's fine, because ultimately, you know, it's going to go towards my why. My why is big enough, I don't care. You know, I don't have to be happy with the business. It's fine. I don't have to enjoy it. It could be soul destroying, it's fine. My why is big enough, sort of. And so yeah, I was doing that for a while. And I really didn't like it. And then I had to build a website for my business. And it was really hard to build a website for my business. I didn't know what I was doing. I had to work it all out, and it was very painful. I mentioned it in my previous videos. I won't go over it again. But it wasn't much fun. But once I got the hang of it, after I built my first website, first of all, when I finished building my first website, boy was I excited. I was jumping up and down like an idiot. I was like, I did it! Oh my god! Because it was so hard, and I had to work it out, and it was such a struggle. It was really painful. And then after that, I didn't really build any websites for a while, and then I did. I started building another website, and then I started building another website, and then before I knew it, I started building another website, and I was like, wow, it's getting easier and easier and easier. I built so many now that I'm really confident now, obviously, in web design. It's very simple to me, and whenever something does go wrong, I love that. I love it when something goes wrong. That's the challenge. That's the pickle I've got to sit and work out, and I've got to ruminate on and think, why don't you like that, WordPress? Why? But I enjoy that. I enjoy the challenge of it. So it's always keeping me on my toes. And the really cool thing about WordPress is that it's so open source. There's you can just do 1,001 trillion things with WordPress. There's never, and it's never a dull moment. It's never a scenario where you know, you learn your thing and you work it out, and then that's it. No, that's not it at all. There's 1,001 trillion things you could learn about WordPress, and I love it. I love that it's constantly evolving, constantly growing. You can always do stuff, and there's always a way. There's always a way in WordPress. I can't say that with any other place I've attempted to build a website on before. I can't say that. Usually there's a restriction of some sort, or there's a limitation of some sort, but WordPress is pretty much all open source, pretty much all for free, and there's always support and help, and I love that. So yeah, I love building WordPress. I love it. And when I tell people about it and I get all geeky on them, they're like, I don't know what to do with you right now, Kate. I don't know I'm just gonna smile and nod, because I don't know what you're talking about. What words are you speaking at me? And I love it. I do. When I wake up and I know I'm going to build a website, I'm like out of my bed, off we go. But before, when I had that other digital marketing business, I was like, shoot me now. Horrible. It hurt. Oh my god, it hurt. And I remember it really, really well. It was a good few years ago. My dad had just popped off, sadly, out of nowhere. And I had my little boy. He was 2 months old when Dad went, and he's so gorgeous now. He's such a big boy now. But yeah, after Dad left, after Dad died, after a while, I had some stuff to do, but I then sort of started dipping my toes into setting up a business. And then I then started dipping my toes into building a website. And it was hard. It wasn't easy. But this is my little angel. Maybe you'll see it very well. This was the day. Oh, it's hard to show you. This picture was taken the day that my dad died. This was us coming back from his funeral. We just came home, and we took a picture because my dad liked to wear trilby hats a lot. And we bought this really cool little outfit for Jackson, my little boy, to wear to my dad's funeral. But we left the trilby hat at home because it was a very stressful morning. And so when we came back, we were like, let's get a picture for Dad, because Dad would love a little trilby hat and a little bow tie. And so that's what we did it. And this is my why. This little boy is one of my whys. He's one of my biggest whys, really and truly, because I know when I was little, my parents tried so many things to try and create a better future for us. They tried so many different businesses and none of them worked, which was awful. It sucked. But they were always trying something, you know. They didn't just sit around on their laurels just hoping and praying. Like, they did try. They sat around for a bit too in between, but then they would try something else, and then if it didn't work, which it didn't sadly, then they would try something else. And they were always trying something because they wanted a better future for us. And sadly, they never realised that. They never got to that point of success, though they did try. And so I wanted to try as well. I wanted to try for my little boy because he's so gorgeous. And I wanted to try so that I could have a better future as well, and I could help other people around me. And one of the reasons I wanted to try as well, one of my big whys, apart from my little boy and my 2 kittens, was because I was setting up a charity at the same time. I was building a website for a charity, which I've recently launched actually. It's called Best Charity Ever. Linked somewhere, I'll put it in the link for this video if you want to check it out. And it's a big deal, it's a big charity. It's not like a little thing I'm trying, it's quite a big thing. But I know how charities work, and I didn't want to be that. And what I wanted was a business that was earning loads of money over here, and then a charity who needed funding, lots of money over here. And I wanted to bridge that gap with my business. And so that's why I set my business up. That's why I set my charity up. They can work together. And then after, you know, a while, we'll, you know, be fine. So my why, apart from my little boy, and apart from my little kittens, and apart from a nice life for myself, where I set my business up, was to fund my charity. There's a lot, it's gonna require an enormous amount of funding, to be quite honest with you. And that's fine, I don't mind. I will continue working as hard as I can, so I can earn as much as I can, so I can help fund that charity as much as I can. I'm also open to other people and other companies funding as well. If they wanted to, they can have a look at the website. There's a link if you want to send a donation in to help fund the charity. It's appreciated. And if you want to sponsor it too, you can do that, you know, open to that too. But it's important, I think, that we establish a big enough why, because when I established this why, when I had my little boy, he was a huge why. And then I had my kittens, and I know they're just cats. I know some people will just be like, it's just cats. No, but they're my babies, right? So they're all 3 of my babies. And then we've got my charity. They're all massive whys to me, and they're all scary. They're all scary. They scared the heck out of me when I started thinking about how I wanted to run my business, how I wanted to take care of things, especially when it came to the charity. Honestly, go and look at the website. The causes that I want to try and help, they're massive. They're not little things. They're not little tiny whatnots. They're huge things that I'm trying to help the humanity-wise, and that is terrifying. One of those causes alone is terrifying, but there's 6, right? And I'm going to add more one day. Like, it's massive, and it was terrifying. But that's the sign of a good why, isn't it? When it scares you. If it doesn't scare you enough, what's the point? You're never going to be motivated to do anything. So I think it's important anyway that we understand why we're doing this. Have you thought about it? I don't know. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But I mean, that's what was going through my mind all those years ago. You know, so imagine I've just become a mum. I've got a 2-month-old. I've now lost my dad. I'm going through the grief of all of that, sorting out all the things I've got to sort out for that. And then I want to start a business. And then I'm learning about digital marketing. And then I start working on building a website. And then I'm building a charity website after that. And the progression of things is quite interesting. But the why is the only thing, honest to God, it's the only thing. My why has been the only driving force, really, that I've had that's kept me pushing and kept me propelling and kept me growing and kept me learning. So I compel you, think about your why. What's your why? Why are you doing it? What's the point? Is it just because you want to buy a really expensive sports car or something, or buy yourself a big old house? Is that it? There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to lie. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just thinking maybe it's not the worst idea to add something scary to your list and maybe make it like a big part of your why, like a big reason, something that's scary. Because then if you do that, honestly, I truly believe if your why is big enough and scary enough, you'll stop at nothing. You will find a way. You will punch through the crap of life, and you will find a way to get your thing done, to get your thing out there, to grow your business, to expand and do all the things. You'll find a way, because your why is so passionately embedded in you. You cannot escape it, and it's the only thing that matters. So, yeah, that's my video for today, guys. I wanted just to talk about your why because it's important. It's not just about, oh, you could build a website and Kate will teach you. I mean, yeah, I can teach you, but what's your why for a website? What's your why for a business? If you haven't got a big enough reason to do it, you're probably not going to follow through. And if you do follow through, are you going to stay committed or driven? You know, even if you're good for 10 years and you're committed and driven for 10 whole years and you're having a great 10 years of business and really successful, if your why isn't big enough, you might just like fade away and lose it because your drive isn't really there anymore. Because your why isn't that big enough. Passion's gone, which you don't want. So I think it's important to consider, what is your why? Why are you bothering? Why all of this? What's the point? What's the end game? When you're on your deathbed, what do you want to look back on and say, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I wasn't scared of that why. I'm glad I didn't just give up on myself. Because I know when I die, when I'm on my deathbed, I don't want a single regret of my life. I don't want a single regret. I want to know that I've done everything I can. I've pushed through everything. I've tried everything, and I've never given up. And I've always found a way, always. And I compel you to have that same type of mindset if you're thinking about business, if you're thinking about setting up a website. It's important. Otherwise, you're just going to fade off, and it's going to. Anyway, I'm going to go because I'm rabbiting on now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If any of this resonated with you in any capacity, definitely leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And if you want, you're very more than welcome to enrol in the Mumpreneur Web Design Academy. Link for it's below. So have a clickety-click down there, and let me know when you've joined. I'd love to say hello. And I will see you guys in the next video.